They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said so.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
I'm in a hell of a hole, was never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never a home, only a place of captivity, safe facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. Main fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles and make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in this body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cartel. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through. In the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So you said that they put millions of my people. Yes, you said so.
Should a murderer go to jail for murdering?
Absolutely.
Should a thief go to jail when he steals?
Absolutely.
Should a robber pay back the money he robbed?
Absolutely.
So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did?
That's right. That's right.
One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog.
never expected to grow. Just obstacle set in the road, that a result of me selling my soul. The story I'm telling is cold, but yet it's what everyone knows. The white man's the devil is known. America was never our home, only a place of captivity, save facility, hating disfigure me. They claim that I'm lazy, be killing me. Maybe this slavery draining my energy. 400 years and counting, the trail of my tears is countless. May fact that them here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Crack in the sky, nuclear missiles will make it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be, slavery for me. And let the whole world see that with them in the cage is safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom we busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Payback is a dog. Payback is a
Look, ain't no remorse in my blood slim. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. I clutch iron while you trust the lies. The next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember your Honda's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit the Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is dish served cold, I just hope they making oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in a world of mad shooters. Devils design fire for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous, I bought brand new parabellums.
You see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. Payback is a dog. Payback is a
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and war like apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Israel.
Right. Shalom, shalom, Israel. Can everybody hear me all right? Let me know if everybody can hear me okay. Let's see. I think we're still looking at those connections. Still a little glitchy. I don't know. We might have to take this off. We're going to see. All right. I got one left. All right. I got a couple of them. Most High in Christ. We're the Israelite School and Universal Practical Knowledge. Started out at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. We're under Commanding General Yohana. We are not affiliated with any other Israelite group or any Christian organization. Tonight is the history class. All right. We go over our history. That's very important to us as a nation, as a people. All right. Before we get started, want to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Shalom Yahweh Shem Al Shabbat Thumb. And to the sisters. Shalom Yahweh Shamar Ala Thun by Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. I got okay. Most High in Christ. This is why I say good. All right. Well, I guess we're gonna go where we got there. We're gonna see how far we get. All right. So tonight is the history class, and as we know, history is very important to our people. Negative, we tend to have a negative disposition towards it because of how painful it is. We go over Deuteronomy 32:7 often. We are supposed to remember the days of old. And of course, I'm paraphrasing, but remember the days of old and understand and consider the generations of our forefathers and foremothers is very important. All right. What's also very important is to understand what the Bible is and what the Bible is not. All right. So y'all know how we always like to start off with participation. All right. And Salaki, you know what? Before I get there, let me get the roll call out of the way. Salaki. All right, we got some sisters in here, got some brothers in here. We need to get some congratulations or something. Salaki. All right, we got Sister Ayah's in the building. Shalom. Yahweh Shemah Lathabah Hashem Yahweh Shah. My brother, Officer Yagadar, is in the building. Shalom. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barakatah, brother. All right, Sister Nazam Anah is in the building, holding it down all the way from New Orleans. Shalom, Yahweh Shemah Lathabah Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right. Let's see who else we got in here. Let's see. Take this in the correct order. So, all right, we got Sister Aisha is in the building. Shalom, Yahweh Shemah Lathabah Hashem Yahweh Shah. All right, and we have okay, so Lakia. I believe this a young? I believe this is a young man, a young lady. It's a Lakia. I'm not gonna guess. I need to know. I need to be able to greet you right. It's a Lakia. Let me know. I do not want to insult anyone. All right. So is it Elijah? I think that's a young man. I think that's a brother, but I want to be sure. So let me know. Let me know so I make sure I greet you correctly. All right. Most High in Christ. Officer Yagadar is in the chat. Stealing thunder, Salaki. Most High in Christ. All right. We got the sister Deborah in the building. Shalom. Yahweh Shamar Alabama Shibni Yahweh Shah. All right, this sister, y'all give her a hand. Y'all give her a hand. This sister got a name. As obviously Yagadah said, new names. The new names. We got several of our sisters and the young brother got new names. This right after the past, so like right after the Sabbath service on this past Saturday. So y'all give them absolute hand to make sure you are okay. No sweat. Well, let me salute this brother. She says, yes, he's 10 years of age. Okay, most high in Christ. Well, shalom, Yahweh Shem, Yahweh Shabbarakatah, brother. Good to see you. All right. Um, yes, but absolute congratulations are in order. It is not a small task to be in this school long enough to get a name. There are standards, there are rules, there is persistence that has to happen, and these sisters did absolutely that. So it definitely is to be congratulated. And look, right on time, the sister Tower Boss. All right, love Yahweh Shemal, Athabah Hashem Yahweh Shai. Give that sister a hand as well. She also got her name on this past Saturday. Most High in Christ. Damn right. These sisters have been diligent and persistent and participating in these classes and making sure they are in attendance. So it's well deserved. Well deserved. All right. Brother Quashah is in the building. Shalom. Yahweh Shem Yahweh. All right. So we were saying before, let's get into let's discuss, right, what the Bible is and what the Bible is not. All right, y'all give me some ideas. So give me some when you think about what the Bible is, what are some things that come to mind? What are some things that come to mind? All right. Shalom, Yahweh Shema, Lathabah Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Quar, I believe it's how I'm pronounced. Is that the correct pronunciation, sis? Out of Fort Worth. All right, good to see you, sis. Good to see you. Shara Yaqua. All right, good to see you, sis. Nazamana said blueprint. Okay, all right. That is a Tawab answer. All right. Aisha said truth or direction. Okay. There's also a Tawab answer. All right. Shara Yaqua said life. All right. Sister I said life, God, and regulations. Okay. All good answers. All good answers. Um, uh, those are all good. Those are the wild answers. I'll give yourself a hand. Next, what is the Bible not? Sister Zamana said foundation. All right. Y'all are on it. Y'all are on it. Yagadar said is for so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians, and it is not for the devils and the heathens. That is absolutely accurate. Y'all get mad. Nothing wrong with that. Absolutely correct. All right. That's something that the Bible is and something that it is not. All right. Now I want y'all to think a little bit about what the world believes. Now, obviously, y'all gonna definitely hit on some of it, right? Because of what it is, who the Bible is for, and who it is not for. That's absolutely some of it. So give me a little bit more about what the Bible is not, and what the Bible is. If y'all want to keep going, because there are other things that the Bible is. I'll think about what Christ this is. I might get another answer. Looks like Christ. All right. Zamanah says it is not a joke or to be played with for sinful nature. That is absolutely true. The Most High does not play around. And again, that is why that's playing with the Most High, and taking the Most High as if he was a joke. That's how we got into this captivity, and why our community and our nation is so destroyed as it is, which is absolutely right. He is not to be played with. Let's see. Yagada says it is non-fiction. It's not fiction. All right, that's true. Absolutely true. Absolutely true. This is not a fictitious book. All right. For I said for everyone. It is not for everyone. It is absolutely not for everyone. This is a cultural book. The book is not for everyone as the way the Christian church presents it. The Christian church has convinced us and the world, but primarily us, that that book is for everyone. They absolutely confiscated our history and our culture and then gave it away to the world. Gave it away to the world. So it is not for everyone. I believe I forgot which captain I've heard make this analogy. If I write you a letter, if I write Sister Aya a letter, I say these things in this letter that are for her, and someone else finds this letter and then just says, "Oh, look what Mataza Akura wrote me." No, it is not for you. It is not for you. You don't have anything to do with this. It's not addressed to you. It's not about, even if I had been to have a relationship with the person who found it, this is not about our relationship. And in this case, Most High gives his law, statutes, and commandments to any other nation. We know that. So the law, statutes, and commandments that are in the Bible are not for anyone else, because there is no other relationship as he has with us. All right, so that's absolutely true. Because Aisha says for us, blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, she is correct. All right. Let's see. It is a book of records. It is not a book of fables. That is absolutely true. That is also true. I'm not seeing what I was expecting to see. That's no shit. I swear. Look at that. All right. It's only for Israel. That is also correct. That is also correct. Let's see. The world thinks the Bible is for everyone and everyone will be saved. That's exactly what they think, and they're completely wrong. They're completely wrong, because salvation is of the Jews, as Christ said. All right. History book, correct. Correct. I said that's a problem. What catch me up on what you were talking about, Salat. Mr. Salat, your quad said that's right. That's right. Let's see. It's the grounds in order to fix and sustain Israel. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true. And that gets back to Sister Nizamana's initial comment as far as the blueprint. I believe that was your comment, sis. All right. Actually, Yagadar said it is the word of God. Absolutely. So here's what I was expecting somebody to say when I said, what is it not? It is not a book about religion. Religion is not in the Bible. Religion is how religion is what this oppressor has done to the Bible, has attempted to do to twist the Bible. Lucky. Oh, it's a lot. Somebody taking her letter gonna be a problem. Well, okay. But Christianity is what has happened to the Bible, right? But the Bible has nothing to do with religion. The Bible is not a religious book. You all named everything you all said was accurate. It is a historical book. It is a book about rules. It is a cultural book. It is a book about a particular nation's. It's our rules, right? So what are some things that people say? Like if um, let's say you came across some timid blackety black cat, and he was going to, you're trying to explain how we are Israelites, we are not Hamites, we are not African. so on and so forth. And he's going to tell you how the Bible is not real. What are some things? Okay, I'm getting notification that it's glitching. So y'all give me 1 second. What I had figured out is anytime I put these backdrops up, we have problems. So we're going to try to get rid of this real quick and see if that clears. But give me one. All right. I think we probably be good to go from now on. Lockett. Uh, what's that? He said they made it a book on dictation. Blessedness with their truth. That is absolutely true. That's another way to say it, sis. You're correct. Um, that's what I was going. So let's say you come up on some black brothers, sisters, right? They believe they are you know Egyptian, and they believe that you know all of blacks, particularly blacks, are Hamites, and we are African, and you might come across as Pan Africanists or something like that. What are some things that you might hear um, as they attempt to discredit the Bible? Who may have had some conversations or heard some things where people will try to discredit the Bible? Obviously, Yagadah kind of hinted to some of them earlier. Right, let me see. Let me go pull some of these back up. He said it is non-fiction. It is not a fictitious book, right? Um, what was one of those other comments that you gave? Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Okay. It says written by a man. Listen, this is always the funniest comment. It just makes it doesn't follow any logic. Well, that's written by man. Well, everything that's ever been written was written by somebody. So if you're going to discredit the Bible because it's written by somebody, then you got to discredit everything you've ever read. Of course, nobody's going to do that. Of course, nobody's going to do that. All right. The Bible's written by the oppressor, so it's fake. Now, that's definitely one of the words I was looking for. Fake. It's definitely one of those words that you might hear somebody start to throw out when they are trying to discredit the Bible. And most often, oftentimes, I don't say most often, it's our people who do so. Same with that somebody, a man wrote it. Who says man didn't manipulate the meaning, right? Correct, which is why it's so important when we say when we talk about the Lashawan Kodash class and how important that is, in the history class, the scripture classes that we had, the scripture breakdown, the brotherhood class, all of our classes that ISUPK offers are so important to get the full understanding of not only who we are, but what the Bible is and what the Bible is not. Because when you go into the Hebrew, when you go into the Blue Letter Bible, and you get to the Assyrian, and you start to understand the ancient, you start to actually understand what these words mean, right? Because there's a concordance. This is about scholarship. This is not about, again, the Bible is not a religious book. The Bible is about history. And so when you get into all of these things, you start to get the proper understanding of what the Bible is and what the Bible is not. So then that this whole idea that somebody's manipulated the meaning. Now, what they never say is, well, what was the original? They're not going to say that. It's just something you don't even know if that's still true. Well, okay, again, if you get the understanding, then you do know. But as you're standing outside, not wanting to stop celebrating Christmas, and not wanting to give up your birthday when you're almost 60 years old or something like that. Then because well, we don't know somebody changed the meaning. We don't know how true that is. For that nonsense. So y'all are absolutely right. Let's see. Obviously, y'all got to say the Blackly Black lie and say it was copied from the Africans. That's another good one. That is another good one. They say it was copied from Africans, right? Who's ever heard this one? That is a book of fairy tales. Kwame Yashala, damn right. Who's ever heard somebody say it's a book of fairy tales? This right says it's easy to poke holes when you have no foundation. Exactly. It becomes very easy to attempt to poke holes. And here's again why the ISUPK is so important for Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. It's easy to allow someone to poke holes when you're not properly educated and trained. It's easy to lose that battle when somebody who has no understanding of what's in that book starts poking holes because you didn't want to get into the ISUPK and you didn't want to stay 10 toes down and you didn't want to give up again your pork and your crab and your shrimp and your lobster. You didn't want to give up Mother's Day and all this nonsense. You know, when some but you but understand you kind of believe, you kind of understand that you're an Israelite. You get that part, but you don't want to give up the rest of this part. And then when you're having this conversation with somebody and tell them that they're an Israelite, you're gonna be destroyed. You're gonna be cut all to pieces because you haven't put aside the proper time to actually learn, actually get the understanding. All right. Since I'm not saying this Bible is in English and it was English in the absolutely. Absolutely, that's a good one. And that's when they'll bring up the J. They didn't even exist. Really, this Bible ain't real. Sister Nas in the building. Shalom, Yahweh Shemar, I thought about him, Yahweh Shah. The J didn't even exist back then. So how is his name Jesus? Knowing, as we know when we come in here, one of the first things you learn is get yourself a 1611 Bible. Get yourself a 1611 Bible. Once you look at that and you realize, this is older than J. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, because these are records. This is history. All right. So I said Khan, Sister Nizam, and I said Khan, one Khan. Damn right. So once you start going down the road, and here's the sad part. The Bible is records, it's history. It's culture of a people. That's what it is. And I tell you some more stuff you may have heard or may not have heard. Well, I heard who was it? I think I heard something. I had to say this one time. He was talking sorry, like years ago. He was like, well, if all these people really existed, where are the bodies? Where are the tombs? Where's this? Where's that? It's like, well, you can't think that everybody who ever lived is gonna have tombs and body. That's not how this operates. And if you think about, who Samet is, he believes in Egyptology. They embalmed bodies. They built all these tombs and everything. Okay, but everybody didn't do that. We didn't have a culture of doing that at all. And so you have to understand again what the Bible is and who the people of the Bible are, who the 12 tribes of the 12 tribes of Israel are, to have an understanding of what our practices were. What our practices were. They read it from front to back and say it doesn't make sense. Give that sister a hand. It's another one. Say it doesn't make sense, so it can't be real. Not knowing it's precept upon precept, line upon line, here and there. Absolutely. Absolutely. The Bible is not meant to be read cover to cover as if it's a chronological, book of chapters, and in the second chapter and in the third chapter. And it's not a novel. It's not a novel. Because again, we are people. If anybody saw, anybody was in the Sabbath service class on Saturday, Captain Dr. Todd described, I believe that was during the Sabbath service, he described how our people, how our nation tells a story. We don't tell a story in chronological order every single thing. You get sidetracked in a minute and tell you, oh yeah, remember this happened and such and such and such and such. Now let me get back to what I was saying. And we're doing 13 times. We're telling, and all of it matters. But that's just how we are as a people. So no, it can't be read front to back like that. And that same, let me pull the sister's comment back up. That same misunderstanding um, leads to another comment. Not only does it not make sense, it leads to there's contradictions in the Bible. That's the biggest. When you hear somebody say that there are contradictions in the Bible, you fully know that they have no idea what it is. You can fully understand that they are confused and ignorant to the truth of the Bible. There is a river that flows through the Bible. There are no contradictions. Christianity has convinced the world that the Bible is for everyone, that Christ died for everyone, and that the Most High loves everyone. And that's a great place to start to then lead to confusion. That's not the truth. It's an absolute lie. And when you put that there and then compare it to Old Testament and New Testament, well, it seems to be a contradiction, right? Because you don't understand, right? But again, this is this idea uh, that it's fables, that it's fairy tales. I've heard people say you don't know if any of them people existed. It's a fake book. All right. Here we're gonna get into the night. And probably over the course of the next few classes, I hope you all entertained, not entertained. I'm interested in this as much as I am because I geek out on it. Something like go right because there are there are archaeological records that are outside of the Bible. We all know that. And you might hear people say things like, we don't even know if Israel existed. I don't know anything about the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, nobody has any records of that. Did nobody else mention them? Has anybody ever heard anything like this? Kind of like, there's no mention of any Israelites anywhere else other than the book, other than the Bible. You can't use the Bible to prove the Bible. You hear these type of things. All right. And in doing some research, what I found out was that there are multiple, okay. So the Sister Zamana has heard that, Officer Yagada has heard that. There are multiple people in the Bible that are referenced outside the Bible. There are a ton of them. But here's the deal. Is everyone? No. No, of course not. Why might that be? Why might it be more difficult to find a large amount of historical record about the people of the Bible outside of the Bible? Why might that be a little difficult? They lie and say Egypt never had say right. That's exactly what they say. They were never in Egypt. That's exactly what they tried. Why might that be difficult though? And I don't want anybody to just think about it practically. If having an understanding of who the 12 tribes of Israel were and who we were supposed to be as a people, why might there be less than a ton of historical record outside of the Bible? And there is a lot. But a lot of these things are just starting to be found. All right. And we're going to get into dates and all that good stuff. But I want y'all to think about why that may have been the case for all these years. Let's see who can get it. As a matter of fact, help y'all out a little bit. All right, let's see what we got. This rise said slaves didn't matter enough to keep records. Okay. That's a true statement, right? But not quite where I'm going. But that is a true statement. All right. That is a true statement. But where I want you all to think about this is we were, again, when you go into the Old Testament and the New Testament, we were a nation of people. Right? We weren't always in captivity. We weren't always in slavery. Now, it did happen in a cyclical manner. Anybody who's familiar with it at all, we would stop following the law, statutes, and commandments, go into captivity. Eventually, get back with the Most High, start doing the right thing. He bring us out, and we fall over again, start following other nations, go back in captivity. But there were times when we were in captivity, functioning as a nation. All right, and if that's happening, why might you not have record of that, or a lot of record of it outside of the Bible? Also, like it's from Ramadan said, the oppressive devil the Bible speaks of, history explained by them. That's part of it. All right. That is definitely part of it. That's a piece of it. Give her a hand. All right. Because they work to erase so much of who we really are. Now, they have done that since we've been in this captivity. That sister's correct. Okay. Y'all give Sister Aya a hand. Y'all give Sister Aya a hand. She says, to be holy means to be separate. And we know about us. Here's the deal. She's on it, right? We were to be a separate people. We had our own way of living. We had our own rules. We had our own God, which was different. Everybody else had 13,000 of them for every little thing. We had one most high power. Okay? We were different. We operated different. We were supposed to be separate, which is what holy means, right? So if there's a nation, if we're separate, we have our records. When would they even need to have any? When would any other nation need to have any other records about us? There is a time, but when would that time be? Now think about this again, practically. ISUPK, universal practical knowledge. This is not just think about it. I'll give you another. Well, let me see. Let me take these comments right quick. Y'all keep thinking, keep answering. Let me see. We documented and wrote our accounts. That's part of our culture. That's correct. Give off so y'all can go ahead. That's absolute. That was our culture to do. All right. Was it taken every time we went into captivity? La, it was not. It was not. All right. Let's see. This is Vanessa Coleman. Living property of Marah. Okay, Most High Christ out of North Philly. Shalom, Yahweh Shemala, thank Allah, Hashem, Yahweh Shai. So it's good to see you. All right. This is checking in through Facebook. Okay, Most High Christ. All right, so I'm doing like this to kind of get y'all there. All right. Let's say you're living in a area with your family, right? Y'all are sufficient. Let's say you're on a farm, and day in and day out, you working on the farm. You are you're feeding your family. Your family's growing. You're expanding, but y'all are out there, right? And you get records of your family and who was born and when and who is working this part of the field, and when this son or daughter gets older, they're gonna do this, so they started doing it. Sure, you get all of those records, and those are just you and your people, right? Or would anybody else have a reason to have record of your family? When would anybody else have a reason to make mention in their records about your family? And when would you have a reason to make mention about anyone else's family in yours? Give Officer Yagadar a hand. They would only record about us when and if they interacted with us. There's no reason for any other family to have any records about your family until you come into contact with them. Does that make sense? They are keeping their records, right? You're keeping your records until we cross paths in a way that is significant enough for us to actually document it. Who cares? All right. Now, what else does that present? And we're going to get into some. Okay, we're going to get into some. What else does that present when you think about how do you I don't want to say confirm. I don't like that because we have our records, right? But if somebody wanted to cross-reference them, what kind of uh, what kind of challenges might that present? All right, Sister I understand. So I'm gonna walk y'all there again, right? You're keeping your records. There's a family, a few miles down there keeping their records, and there is there's an altercation between one of your children and one of their children, right? It happens. Again, you're keeping your records of your family, they're keeping the records of their family, right? Exactly. Exactly. Like the flood is accounted by many. That's one of the things that they'll say too. That's one of the things that you'll hear about the Bible. People say, well, you take the flood, Noah's Ark and the flood story. Every other nation, there's so many other cultures that have that same story. Now step back and think about that practically. Of course, every other nation has that story. There's plenty of cultures that have that story. Because the earth was wiped out, other than 8 people, and those 8 people went on to replenish the earth. Well, everybody went through that. Everybody's ancestors went through that now. So there should be a ton of stories about it. Siagadar is correct. The author will dictate the details. But when I'm retelling my story as it was given to me by my child, I'm gonna write it down in my way. Right? Now, that other family down there, they can write it down different. They're gonna write it down different. Because the victor goes to spoil, exactly. They're gonna write it down differently. But what might you be able to say at some point, years and centuries go by? What you can say is, well, even once you find both of them, you go, well, clearly something happened. Something happened between these 2 families because they both talking about it in their record. Makes sense, right? Let's see. Who knows what I think they call it a stele. I believe is how you pronounce it. Who knows what a stele is? Kanala'a. You can tell me what a stele is. And we're laying this groundwork because we're gonna get into some information. I want to make sure we're all there. Okay, Sister Raya said, no sweat. Yagdar says, Salaki, whoever is retelling about the flight gonna say about the fight. Salaki is gonna say who won. Excuse me. He's gonna say who won the fight, and they're gonna say who started it. And they're gonna say who started it. Because I'm gonna say, hey, when I'm making my notes, that child will doing nothing. They're walking down the street, minding their own business. Hey, I tell that's what my child will tell. No, you mind my own business. Then they got super disrespect. Oh, you can't be disrespectful. We don't do it. They make a note. We don't do that in my center. That's how that's gonna go down. Now they're gonna make their notes the same way. So we're gonna see how some of this plays out. But here's the other deal. And this is how you know. This is another piece I want y'all to keep in the back of your mind. This is how you know the Bible is absolutely a historical book and it's absolutely truthful. We have plenty of our mistakes in that book. The Bible does not prop the nation of Israel as if they're, this wonderful, family of people who never does wrong. That is not what's in that book. What's in that book is all the ups and downs, all the horrible things that people did. It's all in there. Salam, how about Shabakatah? Also, your Rosh and Martha's in the building. But it's all in there, which tells you even more how genuine the book is. All right. It's just a history of people. It's just a history of people. This is what happened. All right. And so we're gonna see no sweat. A stele, as a la Bob said with la no sweat. A stele taxes all the laundry dirty. Exactly. We listen. That the Bible has all the laundry. All the laundry. And how important is it? Why is it important to do that? So that again, when we go back and look at our historical record, we'll see. We'll see the dirt. We'll see what's clean. We'll see the repercussions of the bad and the repercussions, the successes of the good when we follow in the Most High. That's why the scriptures say what was written in the foretime is written for our learning. So we can learn from all of it. All right. So a stele is basically a nation, just like we had our records that we wrote on papyrus and scrolls. A lot of these other nations did it on stone tablets, similar to when Moses had when the Most High gave Moses the 10 commandments. Like similar to that, a stele is our records of other nations that document things, document historical events. So it's everyday life, even as we Lucky. So it's everyday life, even as today. Lucky, I'm not sure what you're asking me, sis. I want to make sure I'm there with you. So it's everyday life, even as we it today. I think you're asking, is the Bible everyday life? Is that what you're asking me, sis? Lucky, let me know. All right. But a stele is you had different nations that did these. Okay. Right. Right. So the sister says, is it everyday life? Yeah, it's everyday life. It's our history. It's just what happened in our culture, in our nation. Important things that happen in our nation, which is what anybody would keep. This country, as wicked as it is, listen, they have a great history program for their history. Right? You when they if anybody who's going through the public school system in America, you have American history, right? And you have world history. American history is the oppressor's history once he got here. World history, a lot of it is just European history. I mean, in times that they interacted with other nations, because they're always telling their history from their perspective. And it's the same with us. Some of it was just day to day, but it was always important. Right. It was always important to the grand scheme of it's just a retelling of our history. But um, when you think about the things that may have happened in your family, when you're telling your children about their grandparents or some things that happened when you were small or some things that might have been told to you over time, these are just the records that we keep. These are the records that's in the Bible. All right. Does that answer your question, sis? Let me know. Kind of like but yeah, it's just our history. But what we're gonna find is that history is validated. That's on the Bible. Now, to be clear, we don't need that. We don't need it. But if you're ever in a discussion with someone who wants to tell you that the Bible is fake, and we don't believe in science, and we don't believe in this, and we don't believe in that, well, we're gonna give you a little bit of information. You can figure out how to pull it up because it's all everywhere. And this is why I say the world knows that the Bible is true. Okay, most high in Christ. Down the bar shit. The world knows that the Bible is true. We here in America, especially as blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, have a problem accepting how true it actually is. We want to believe it's true based on what the Christian church said. The Christian church says it's all spooky and magical. The truth of the Bible is that it's just history. All right. So first place we're gonna go. First place we're gonna go is First Kings 16. All right. And what this is just us going over history that is in the Bible and outside the Bible. Like I said, I hope y'all and appreciate it. I geek out on this type of stuff. Well, and the real reason I geek out on it is because I was in a Christian church, so I know how much I was just confused and lied to about what's in the Bible. About what's in the Bible. So when I find things that again are practical and historical and it just drives it home even more that the truth of the Bible is something that the world knows, but we don't. All right. Let's see. First Kings chapter 16. Matter of fact, I might give y'all the outside. Is that right? Kings, Rocky. Yeah. All right. So before we get there, I'm gonna pull this up. All right. All right. Hopefully y'all can see that okay. I'm sure you can't now, but y'all know what it is. Make it a little bit better. Who has ever heard of Omri? Omri. Who's familiar with the brother Omri in the Bible? Y'all let me know. Now this is let me go back up. Let me get y'all a little bit of this is the Moabite or Muse stealing. You know what? We are familiar with Moabites, right? They're one of the nations. Okay. This was their stele. So for centuries, nobody believed Moabites actually existed. Essentially, nobody believed Moabites existed. It was something that was only referenced in the Bible, and so you couldn't confirm it anywhere else. So, and because the Christian church has taken the Bible and made it this spooky thing, as opposed to just our record, left it alone, and it's just the records of the people, then nobody knows. Everybody thinks, well, that must be something made up. All right. Okay, y'all have not heard of him. All right, no sweat. The type of Bob said since the Zamana said okay, no sweat. So the Misha Stele details the victories of King Misha of Moab over the kingdoms of Israel and Judah. All right, it is found at Debar, the capital of Moab, dated to the 9th century BCE. Okay, the stone has 34 lines of text, which have been translated into English. The italicized portion of the text, though likely, are not certain. Of course, because there are always something that at times that are lost in translation, and you have to get, you have to make adjustments to get the understanding. All right, but let's skip down. It's 32 lines. We're gonna go to, I think it's the end of 4. Right. You see, it says Omri. I don't know why they divided it like this, but it says Omri, king of Israel, oppressed Moab for a long time because Hamath was angry with his country. His son succeeded him, and he also declared, I will oppress Moab. In my days, he declared this. And I enjoyed his view and that of his house. Israel was destroyed forever. Omri had taken possession of the land, and Madabah, Madabah, and he dwelt in it during his days. During half my days, his son, 40 years, but Kamash restored it during my days. All right. So again, this is referencing Israel. It's referencing a particular name. So let's go to 1 Kings 16:6. says, and the people were camped, like, and the people that were camped heard say, Zimri has conspired and has also slain the king. Wherefore all Israel made Omri captain of the host. Captain of the host means the captain of the military. All right. And again, this is why we have officers and captains and generals in our ISUPK, because that's what we had as a nation. Made Omri the captain of hosts, king over Israel this day in the camp. So when that stele referenced Omri, the king of Israel, there's an Omri who was the king of Israel in the Bible. So from a historical perspective, once you had that happen, you'd have to go so far to say, well, this is made up. You have to go so far now. You have to go so far to say it's fake, because then you have to believe that the Israelites faked that record and the Moabites faked that record. Of course, that makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. When people start talking about how the Bible isn't real and none of these people are true, it's an absolute lie. Absolute lie. And here's the deal. You don't have to confirm everybody. There's no reason to expect to be able to. As Sister Raya said, we were a separate people, because everybody understood as we walked through it. The only reason you would be able to confirm it somewhere else is when you come in contact with those nations. All right. Let's see. I want to keep. I think I want to. No, that's all I wanted right there. All right. I'm going to go to the next one. It's Rocky. Oh, Siagdar said that's when they lie and say it was wrote in retrospect. Right, they'll say that. So who would that benefit? So wait a minute, the Bible was written in retrospect? Is that what you say? Is that what you say? Is that what the people you've heard people say? I've never heard that one. They deny the historical proof, I believe is what you're saying. Let me know. Is what you're saying that people say the Bible was written in retrospect? Let's see. I want to see this. I want to make sure I'm talking and responding correctly. Because here's the deal. You got this stone, and we're gonna go through several of them. We're probably gonna. I know there's gonna be at least two classes. Nobody questions any of those other records. Nobody questions this Moabite stone. There's several of them that no one questions. They lie and say it was wrote after the events took place. Right. So Salaki, are you saying that they're saying that the Bible was written and that these stones were written after the events took place? Not that either one of them matters. I just want to know, because I've never heard this one before. Never heard this one before. Let me know. Let me know. Which are they saying? And the reason why this is so interesting, right? If that's what they're saying, this is how backwards that is. That's amazing. Okay, so Salaki, he said that the argument is that the Bible was written through these things. Here's why that makes absolutely no sense. That Moabite stone, the Misha stele, that wasn't found until 1864. There was no record of it before then. So then you would have to believe, because we know the Bible was around before 1860, until like 1868. We know the Bible was around before 1868. So then you would have to believe that somebody wrote the Bible thousands of years ago, because but after the stone was written. Clearly, nobody's going to believe that at the time, which means you have to write it a long time after, knowing that somebody's going to find this stone. Like all of that. When you talk about conspiracy theory, it's too much work. It's too much work, and that's too easy to just destroy. Right? So I'm to Water for bringing that up. I had never heard anybody say that. But again, we can definitely be aware of that now. Because again, it has to get you. This is again these classes are to get you prepared. Not that brothers and sisters need to be out there having debates. All right, that's not encouraged until you have had sufficient training. All right, but um, this we are a nation, and there are times where we have to defend what we believe, defend what we know the truth is, and even if it's just to try to help convince the sister to open their eyes. All right, so because somebody might have told a brother or sister what Officer Yagadar just said, well, that stuff was written after. Well, they might need somebody to most high Christ. They might need somebody to break it down in a way that actually makes sense. Like the conspiracy theories that people come up with in an attempt to not to discredit the Bible are crazy. I mean, it takes so much work. It takes so much work. All right. Um, who's familiar with y'all gonna probably be familiar? Who's familiar with King Ahab? Well, somebody's heard of King Ahab. And we're starting with the kings because there's so much of it there. And again, this is a practical reason for this. I've heard the Egyptologist lunatic say that's amazing. Man, you gotta work hard at that point. Like, come on. So that's that. You know what you say then? Okay, so you don't believe in science. You don't believe in science. Because again, according to science, once you confirm it, now you have to prove that it was written later. And how do you do that? You don't. You just want to believe that. So you don't want to believe your science that they claim because that's what they say. They say if you believe in the Bible, you don't believe in science. Once I bring something to you and it's scientific, you have to say it's scientifically proven. You don't want to believe that? Oh, you don't believe in science. No sweat. Good night. So King Ahab, who is familiar with King Ahab? King Ahab. Kind of like, let's see. Kind of like, who is familiar with King Ahab? What was the argument? I said, God. Like your sister Alice said, let me Google. Y'all crazy. Hey, don't sweat. The Nizamana's a lie. Don't sweat. All right. So King Ahab, is that where I want to go? Yes. King Ahab was um, uh, Omri's son. All right. Those type of things are absolutely tracking the Bible. All right. The King Ahab was Omri's son. He came into power. All right. So there's an Assyrian. Let me go back up. Yeah, get the name. If y'all want to write these down and look them up again, I don't blame you. I geek off stuff like that. All right. All right. The Turk monolith. All right, is a stele. The Turk monolith stele. All right. It's an Assyrian stele. Here is pictures of it. Laha. Laha. No, that's you thinking Jonah. You thinking Jonah. All right. Nah. I'm gonna get y'all straight on King Ahab. I'm actually hold on 1 second. 1 second. Slack. Right. So Who's familiar kind of like with Jezebel in the Bible? Who's familiar with her? Who is familiar with Jezebel? Yeah, I think I was gonna get some cons then. Most High Christ. Nobody knows Jezebel. Even if you don't know about specifically about Jezebel, you know Jezebel was not the representation of a good woman. So Jezebel was King Ahab's wife. Y'all may be familiar. We're not going to go into the details of what happened with her and Elijah, when when he battled all of those other priests of Baal. All right, uh, but that gives you some perspective. All right, she is a term now. Right, right, right. She was so horrible. It was so horrible. Every sister knows. Somebody call you a Jezebel, you should be insulted. You're absolutely gonna be insulted. That's crazy because they believe it so much that they put these artifacts in museums all over the world and call them right archaeological treasures. But it's to us like it's a fairy tale. That's exactly the point. The world knows. The world knows that the Bible is true. That the world is absolutely aware that the Bible is true. So let's keep going. Um, Started a war. She did attempt to. She did attempt to. She actually attempted to start a genocide. It did not work out. We may go over that one of these classes coming up. All right. So the Assyrian Kirk Stele, it says this, the stele of Shalmaneser III describes his military campaigns in western Mesopotamia and Syria. It describes Shalmaneser's victories, significant victory, the Battle of Kakar, situated in North Syria, where he overthrew an alliance of 12 local kings. Shalmaneser had described on the monolith. So again, on this stele, it's Shalmaneser's, and he's talking about these battles that he won. And this is how the other nations often memorialize, especially when they were kings, they memorialize their uh, their accomplishments on these things. All right. So it says Qatar, his royal city, I destroyed it. I devastated. I burned with fire. 12,000, like 1,200 chariots, 1,000 cavalry, 20,000 soldiers. Hadad Azar of Aram, 700 chariots, 700 cavalry, 10,000 soldiers. I'm not going to pronounce that last one. Whatever that is, Hamas, all right? 2,000 chariots, 10,000 soldiers of Ahab, the Israelite. This is something that's from another nation. As it says, uh, King Ahab linked up with other nations to go to war against Shalmaneser. Shalmaneser won and put it in his stele. I picked all this, but including Ahab the Israelite. All right. So again, this is another individual who he's in the Bible. He's an Israelite, and another nation is saying, "Yeah, we had some contact." All right. Because according to this inscription, Israel's King Ahab, 1 Kings 16:22. We're not going to go to that scripture. We are going to go to 1 Kings 16. We're going to go back there. Was part of his coalition against the Assyrian army. This is one of only 5 known inscriptions with the name Israel. The others are the Maniput stele, the tail down stele, the Nisha stele, which we just went over, and the Berlin pedestal. So again, this even references the other ones. This one was found in 1861. Right? 1861 is when this was found. So put this in perspective. This is put this in perspective that the Bible has been around for thousands of years. Everybody has known it was, around. And then Christianity comes along and distorts it and makes everybody believe that it's this magical book and questions whether Israel it was ever a real nation, whether Christ ever existed. King David is another one that said, well, wait, if his kingdom was so huge, why don't we have any remnants of it and things of that nature? And then the archaeologists start to unearth these records, these other nations, when they're talking about times that they came in contact. All right. And as Officer Yagadar said, and pull that up again, it's crazy because they believe it so much that they put the artifacts in museums all over the world. They know that these things are true. They call them archaeological treasures, but they pitch to us like it's a fairy tale. And here's where it really boils down. Here's where the rubber really hits the road. Once you start to understand it's a Bible, it's a historical book. Now you have to look at it from a different perspective. It can't be for Christians. It can't be about Christianity. That book is about the Israelites. And people know that until they get to the New Testament. They're, and then Jesus came and now he was magic. And so now it's for everybody. And the Trinity. And his mama got pregnant and she didn't even have sex with a man. It's amazing. And now Christmas and Easter. But let's step back and say, well, wait a minute, because no other culture is treated that way. Again, when they unearth these things, they say this is proof. This is factual. Everything that's in here is a record. But when they look at the Bible, well, it's spooky. All right. So let's go to 1 Kings 16 and 29. First Kings 16 and 29. Like it says, that in the 38th year of Asa, king of Judah, began Ahab, the son of Omri, to reign over Israel. Ahab, the son of Omri, reigned over Israel in Samaria 20 and 2 years. All right. It says, and Ahab, the son of Omri, did evil in the sight of the Most High, of all that were before him. Here's where, and this is where we were talking about before, you're not necessarily you don't need, well, this nation said this thing about this so-called Israelite. So can we confirm that event in this book? No, you don't need that. What you need, and this is what archaeologists have done, because what we did have in our culture was a habit of documenting time frames. So you would document how old somebody may have been when they came into power, if it was significant. You would document how long they were in power, and when this new king came, how long he was in power. And when you have that, you can start to do math and then backtrack. All right. And when you do that, when you backtrack and then you compare that to the archaeological record, like, oh, this was happening around the same time that was happening. And it becomes easy to say, that's the confirmation. When you start having these type of conversations with people, they're going to run. They're going to run. Because they're not able to articulate and dissect these things, which is why it's so important to make sure you're in every class at ISUPK. The information's there. The information's there. If you want to become a strong brother in the truth, you want to become a strong sister in the truth, get up under these captains, officers, it's like officers, captains in general. Maybe I can say it the other way. It's like, but that's how we become better, not only at knowing our history and knowing who we are and our identity, but helping wake other brothers and sisters up. All right. Let's keep going. We're actually going to go to, let me stop this real quick. All right. And this is another thing I'm going to show y'all to get y'all again. I know Sister Nazama and I kind of referenced it, that the Bible is not, a novel. That's what we talked about. It's supposed to be precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little. That's because there are multiple places in the Bible where different things are just referenced. Like anybody who's familiar with the New Testament, the first four books of the New Testament are about who? Y'all tell me real quick. Who are they primarily about? Real easy. This throwaway question. Who are the first four books of the Bible about? Of the New Testament, Salaki. Of the New Testament. Oh, oh goodness. I'm giving y'all throwaway questions. Let me see. I know y'all ain't Googling that. I can't be Googling that answer. There we go. One side correct. Yeah, I was shot. All right. Jesus Christ or Yahweh Shai Mashiach in the Hebrew. That's what the first. That's who the first. I was still kind of concerned. Nobody has answers. But what you see in the first four books, if anybody's ever read it, and if you don't, do it quickly. But what you'll see is there are multiple versions of the same story. You're just getting them from different perspectives, right? And so again, what you'll find, that's not something that's just in the New Testament. You'll find that done in a lot of places. Chronicles, First and Second Chronicles goes over a lot of the same things that in First and Second Kings. All right. It's different locking. Different versions of the same information. Some have a little more information than others, but it's all just to get the understanding. But that's again why the Bible isn't meant to be read in chronological order. You read that in chronological order, you're gonna think the same thing happened twice. That's not how it works. All right. Slovakia. Yeah. Oh. Four. I don't want to pull that one yet. I don't want to pull that one yet. It's a lot. That's gonna take a little more time to break down. All right, what time is it? We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. All right. I heard me reference earlier the Tel Dan Stele. The Tel Dan Stele, which again is another set of records. This was a Romanian. No, Aramean, Salak. Okay. All right. It says so this one has been broken. It's in fragments. So the broken and fragmentary inscription commemorates the victory of an Aramean king over his two southern neighbors, the king of Israel and the king of the house of David. Now, this was huge. Now, this was found in 1993. Okay, this is not again. This is relatively new, very new. This was found in 1993, and it referenced the king of the house of David. That is such a huge. It was such a huge thing because again, a lot of people want to say, "Well, King David didn't exist," and even now, when you hear people talk about this, they say, "Well, that's still not proof that he existed." Well, if you have someone else is referring to as the king of the house of David, then wouldn't you just go into that person's record and say, "Well, he was David"? That's how these things should work. But again, it becomes this: they're gonna give it, but they ain't give it too much. They don't give too much. What they would say is, well, that's a question mark. We think it's likely, but we can't say for certain. But again, if somebody said, somebody said something about Yagadan, experts of Yagadan, well, then you could go into the records of the ISUPK and find out who Officer Yagadan actually was. That makes sense, but this is where some of this as Yagadan was saying earlier. This is where some of it the oppressor is still the devil. The Bible speaks of. All right, but it says and carefully lock it in the carefully it's written in neat Aramaic characters. The Aramaic king boasts that he, under the divine guidance of God Hadad, his God, vanquished several thousand Israelite and Judite horsemen and charioteers, personally dispatching both of his royal opponents. Because unfortunately, the record, like it, unfortunately, the recovered fragments of the House of David inscription do not preserve the names of the specific kings involved in this brutal encounter, but most scholars believe the stele recounts a campaign of Hazael of Damascus, in which he defeated both Joram of Israel and Hazael of Judah. What this is only saying is the stele didn't name the specific people, but it did say the king of Israel and the king of the house of David. Anybody who's been in the class, anybody has an understanding of the Old Testament. There was once the split happened, once the Civil War happened and the split happened, then and the Most High gave the house of David, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, essentially, and the other tribes gave it to the house of Israel. At this point, our nation became two nations. Right? Everybody still with me? We've gone over this before. Let me know if I'm covering anything that you're confused about or you haven't heard before. Salaki. All right. But once there was that, our nation was really two different nations, and as we went as we encountered other nations, they spoke of us that way. So you had the king of Israel, and the king of the house of David, two very separate nations. All right, at that point. Then we go to 2 Chronicles 22. Second Chronicles 22. All right, most high Christ. All right. Second Chronicles 22. We're gonna start at verse 1. All right, kind, no sweat. All right, everybody with me. Most high Christ. Let me make that a little larger so y'all can see that. There we go. It says, and the inhabitants of Jerusalem made Ahaziah his youngest son king in his stead. So this is what we just referenced. Ahaziah and Jehoram were the two kings that scholars believe that Stele was referencing. All right. It says, for the band of men that came with the Arabians to the camp had slain all the elders. He was the youngest son. He was the only one that was left. All right. So Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, so Ahaziah, the son of Jehoram, the king of Judah, reigned. All right. 40 and 2 years, 40 and 2 years old was Ahaziah when he began to reign. And he reigned 1 year in Jerusalem. His mother's name also was Athaliah, I believe it's how you pronounce it, the daughter of Omri. So you see how this stuff is tracked, right? He also walked in the ways of the house of Ahab. Man, for his mother was his counselor to do wickedly. All right. And again, this is where I was talking about how we have all of our information on records. So y'all can said the clean and the dirty. All right. Because wherefore he did evil in the sight of the Most High, like the house of Ahab. For they were his counselors after the death of his father to his destruction. Says he also walked after their counsel and went with Jehoram, the son of Ahab, king of Israel, to war against Hazael, king of Syria, at Ramoth Gilgal, and the Syrians smote Jordan. So this is one of those situations where you have it on the stele, where that we go back to it. Right? There's the Aramean king over the two southern neighbors, the the king of Israel and the king of the house of David, which is the kingdom of Judah. All right. Carefully incised text written Aramaic characters, the Aramean king, both that he, under divine guidance of his God, vanquished several thousand Israelite and Judite horsemen and charioteers. And it goes, but it says it recounts the campaign of Hazael of Damascus, in which he defeated both John and Hazael. This is the connection. All right, this is the connection. Let's see, I'll stop that real quick. We got another one. We have another one. Jehu. I may be familiar with Jehu. You may have heard that name. Oh, no. So, who remembers kind of like who remembers when we talked about the Northern Kingdom and how the one of the kings was giving presents to another kingdom. Kind of like who remembers that when we were going over proving that we were Israelites and we were talking about the Assyrian captivity and what led to it. There was a particular king who gave, as the Bible calls it, presents to other nations, to a specific nation. All right. Said Khan, she remembered. Okay. Who can tell me what those presents were? What they represented? It was. That's what I'm gonna get. Who can tell me what? Who can remember? Who remembers what that was? When the Bible said presents, what did that mean? The Bible said presents. What did it mean by presents? And again, this is not spooky stuff. Wipe the tap off and says you got to wipe the Christianity off of it. There was a particular king who gave out presents. In fact, there was more than one king, I believe, who gave out presents. But what did we say those presents were? I know y'all be taking copious, immaculate notes. Lots. Well, matter of fact, let me take that back. I can't necessarily say la. The sister's kind of correct. The sister said, Rocky. Was it to obtain favor? Yes. Yes, it was. Can you remember what the Bible meant by presence? It was to obtain favor. All right, y'all are on it. I said gifts for protection. Okay. There was another word that we used. There was another word that we used. I want to make sure we get that because it drives it home. There was another word. What's another word for gifts? All right. Think about it almost on some. That's it. Think about it almost on some mafia type level. There's a particular word for that. These gifts, these gifts meant. I want us to get that word because I want us to get the perspective. The sister is right when she said gifts for protection. And Akwaf Nizamana is also correct when she said to obtain favor. That is correct. There it is. Tribute. Tribute. That's what it is called. Tribute. All right. No, not a donation. Not a donation. A donation is something that you give, maybe out of the kindness of your heart. Tribute is meant to um it is meant to obtain protection. All right. But it's that's the that's the understanding of it. When you pay tribute, you are you are putting yourself in a subservient position to a greater power, and you are saying, please, and when I say greater power, I'm not talking about the most high, right? I'm talking about earthly, all right. That's why I said put it in the mind of mafia and mob type stuff. Anybody who's ever done any kind of, if you've ever looked into any documentaries or anything like that, when it comes to the mob, what they would do, the Italian mob, what they would do is go into an area, and they might go into a line of stores, and they go, listen, you got to give me X%, maybe of your your net, what you take in, and you need to do that in order for me to provide protection for you. Because if not, you can have a whole bunch of people in here coming to rob you. Now, who's going to be robbing them? The same people who are saying that they coming to protect you. But that's the clearness of it. All right. It's I'm at a lower position. I really don't have the means to fight. I may have other people that I don't have the means to fight, and it's like paid protection. What's the problem with that though? Listen, domination, Comic Con. I was thinking like a post. Oh, no sweat. I understand. I understand. Tribute. Correct. Correct. Absolutely right. Give us off the bar I had. So, what's the problem with that though? Why is it a problem? Why is it a problem when an Israelite king to pay tribute to another nation? All right. Let's say gives away control. Okay. I mean, you're in the right area. You kind of in the building. Who else want to give it a shot? It's a little kind of bigger than that. Give Officer Yagadar a hand. We're trusting them for protection, not the Most High. Once the king decides I gotta pay another nation to protect me from whatever nation, whatever threats I have, that king has now just decided they're more scared of the other nations than the Most High. They got more faith that those nations who are willing to pay tribute, they believe in them more than they believe in the Most High for the protection. Because if they believed in the Most High for the protection, all you do is follow the law, statutes, and commandments. And you all are right. It never ends. That's also a problem, correct? World Tony, he said it makes you dependent. That's also true. Who are we supposed to be dependent on? Who are we supposed to be dependent on as a nation? Absolutely right. Nazamana is correct. She said it makes sense. We're trusting man instead of the Most High. Right. We are more. We have more. At that point, you clearly saying. I mean, I know, because again, we got the record. We're the 12 tribes of Israel. Well, now we northern and southern kingdom, but still, we know the Most High brought us out of Egypt and protected us. And if nobody has read Joshua, go read it. When you go see what the 12 tribes of Israel did under Joshua, as far as when they came into the promised land and started taking over, I think at one point he defeated something like 30 kings in one day. If I'm not misquoting it, but Joshua came and I mean absolutely took over. They were aware of all of this. We got the records. But now I don't know. I might need to. Hey, listen, man, I need some help. You're supposed to be following the law, statutes, and commandments. You don't need no help from no other nation. You don't need to trust in anyone else. You need to trust in the Most High. She's absolutely right. Christ and Most High in Christ. All right. That would be like your rib get. Oh, goodness. Y'all give Officer Yagadar a hand. That would be like your rib getting the next door neighbor to check out the bump she heard. Right. She hear a bump in the night. She's gonna get on the phone and I need you to come over here and check something out. I don't know what I heard. And here's what she's been doing to make sure she can make that phone call. She's been cooking food in your house, giving it to the neighbor. She's been cooking food in your house, preparing it, giving it to the neighbor, saying, listen, do you mind if I give you a call? I'll be hearing stuff sometimes and I just be scared. He takes that barbecue chicken with collard greens with smoked turkey in them. He take them beans and rice and no problem. Since you give him a call whenever you need. That's the best analogy. And when the brother said it makes you dependent, that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's just the bar hand. She said that's a slap in the face to the Most High. That is a slap in the Most High's face. Correct. That's just what we do. Guess what else we do? Let's see who in the spirit tonight. When is another time that we as a nation do this exact thing? We slap it. It's a slap in the face of the Most High. We do the exact same thing. There's another thing that we do today as a nation. Mr. Aisha said, the Most High is our protector. The protector man falls every time. Just look at the world. She is correct. Yeah, we're like, man, that's what I said. Yeah, that hurt. That analogy was that's all for y'all. Excellent breakdown, sir. Most High is quiet. So furniture gonna be moving down. Listen, I know everybody. Look, I know we got good sisters in here. Ain't nobody crazy. So it's gonna cause a whole lot of confusion. There's gonna be a whole lot of furniture moving. There it is. Y'all on it. Obviously, y'all can say the same thing we do every election time. I said voting. Absolutely. He's gonna go nonsense celebrating pagan holidays a little bit. Especially listen, that Christianity is another one. Christianity is another one. When we're putting our faith in something that has nothing to do with the Most High. But voting is definitely where I was going. That is actively saying that listen, this whole idea that you need to be part of the solution, you need to participate in. The Bible says don't put any man above you, especially if not from your own nature. The Bible says that the Most High will pick your leaders. When you walk around picking and voting and saying you want this candidate, you want that candidate, it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Goodness, most high crazy, y'all crazy. So we're gonna pull up this last one, and again, like I said, this is gonna be a few classes because there are a lot. And sidebar, we're not gonna get to all of them because all of them aren't necessarily important. And when I say they're not important, they're not all Israel, but there are about I think it's 60. There's over 60 people. If when you start doing your research, you'll hear people call them characters. They're not characters; these are people. All right, they're our people. They're our ancestors. There are over 60 of our ancestors who obviously are in the Bible and are mentioned in records outside of the Bible, which lets you know that the Bible is not a fairy tale. It's not fiction. It's just history. It's history and rules and culture. All right. Oh, Most High Christ. The water says, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. All right, we're going to get this last one. So we're going back to tribute, right? Again, paying tribute is slapping the face to the Most High. We went over now. I can't remember who did it before. Maybe it was a Haas. There's another king that did it. Jeru. Jeru. All right, we're going to pull up the historical information, then we're going to go to the Bible. All right, I say historical, the archaeological information, then we're going to go to the Bible. All right. See if I can. Move that over. There we go. That ain't too bad. All right, it says discovered by Sir Austin Henry Laird in 1846, a black obelisk of Shalmaneser III is considered the only complete Assyrian obelisk ever found. This perfectly preserved monument commemorates 31 years of Assyrian King Shalmaneser III's military conquest. All right, because again, most of these obelisks, not obelisks, most of these stones and things were just that nation's records, that king's records. All right. So standing under 2 meters, about 6.5 feet tall, and made of black limestone, which is why it's called the Black Obelisk. This stele was erected in 1825 BCE. That's just BC. They try to change it now. Wow. The four-sided obelisk has 5 vertically arranged panels on each side, a total of 20 panels. Each panel tells a story about one of the subdued kings or rulers of Shalmaneser's conquest. All right. Says one of these 12 panels has become more popular than the rest. It depicts an Israelite king bowing down before offering gifts and shallowness of the story. Again, these gifts are tribute. And you can see now this is remade obviously. This is a piece of art. But the stone is it's made out of black limestone, so it's difficult to see, especially in a picture, all right? But that is the depiction of King Jehu, all right? And this is, as you can see, those fringes and things. You see all that. Those are other people, although they're drawn looking like another nation. Salaki. All right. Yes. So the inscription under that picture reads, "The tribute of Jehu, son of Omri." Again, y'all see where this stuff is tracking. I received from him silver, gold, a golden bowl, a golden vase with pointed bottom, golden tumblers, golden buckets, and a staff for a king and spears. So the inscription identifies Jehu, who was the king, who was bowing down and paying tribute, and it defines Jehu as the successor of Omri, the father of the northern kingdom of Israel. Is that where we're going? We're going to Second Kings. No, I ain't going. This inscription, and this is the other deal too. Whenever y'all are doing your research and you're trying to confirm this stuff, understand most of your sources, you want to get the history, you want to get the facts. Once they start going into scripture, if they try to break down scripture, that's not, you got to cut them off. You got to cut them off because most of them are coming from a Christianity perspective, and again, Christianity has nothing to do with the Bible, right? This inscription confirms the existence of two biblical kings of Israel. But how does this story compare with the Bible? Right, that's the question. And the two kings are again Omri, which was the first king we went over, and now Jehu. All right. So we're going to go to Second Kings. We are going to go to chapter 9. Second Kings 9. We're going to start at 1. All right. It says, "And Elijah the prophet called one of the children of the prophets and said unto him, Slacky, gird up thy loins, and take this box of oil in thine hand and go to Ramoth Gilead." Giving instructions to a young man. That's giving instructions to a child. All right. It says, and when thou comest thither, when you get there, look out there, Jehu, the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi. When you get there, you find Jehu. He's the son of Jehoshaphat, the son of Nimshi. That's who you're looking for, okay? And go in and make him arise from among his brethren, and carry him to an inner chamber and go somewhere else. All right. Tell him, look, when he talk to you, you got to get him away from the rest of the people, okay? Those are just the instructions. It says, then take the box of oil and pour it out on his head and say, thus saith the Most High, I have anointed thee king over Israel. Then open the door and flee and tarry not. These are very specific instructions that Elisha is giving. Go, find him, take this oil with you, give him a sign, anoint him, and leave. All right? We're going to skip to verse 5. All right? So that he came, behold, and then he came slightly, behold, the captains of the host were sitting. And the host is just the military, all right? But the captains were sitting. And he said, this is the young man, and he said, I have an errand to thee, O captain. And Jehu said, unto which of all us? Who are you talking to? You just referenced the captain. Which captain are you speaking of? And he said, to thee, O captain. For you. I got an errand for you. And he arose and went into the house. He poured the oil on his head and said unto him, thus saith the Most High Power of Israel, I have anointed thee king over the people of the Most High, even over Israel. All right, so he did everything he was supposed to do. Now let's skip to 11. And Jehu came forth to the servants of his Lord, and one said unto him, is all well? Wherefore came this mad fellow to thee? He said unto them, you know the man and his communication. Is where I want to be? Yes. Um, and they said, is it false? Tell us now. And he said, hold on. Okay. He said, is it false? They tell us now. And he said, thus and spake he to me, saying, thus saith the Most High, I have anointed thee king over Israel. So now he's taking everybody and letting them know, I'm sure this made king. All right. We are going to have to we're going to get the sheet in. All right. And they hasted and took every man his garment and put it under him on the top of the stairs and blew with the trumpet, saying, Jehu is king. So they was hyped. All right. They sit it. Everything's looking good. So we're going to go over once. And then we're going to take long. We're going to go to chapter 10. We're going to start at verse 31. And again, I'm hitting kind of high points, right? First and Second Kings, First and Second Chronicles are all, go read them. All right, go read them. They are they know the history of our people, but they're good reads because it's real life. This is stuff that happens. This phenomenon said was just kind of everyday life. It kind of was, but it was the high points. It was the things that were important to keep record of. All right. Verse 31. Verse 31. And Jehu took no heed to walk with the most in the law of the Most High Power of Israel with his heart, for he departed from the sins of Jeroboam, which made Israel. In those days, the Most High began to cut Israel short, and Hazael smote them with all the coasts of Israel. So what this is presenting is the struggle between the nations that surrounded Israel and Israel, and why. But again, when you go through kings, what you will see is every king got a little bit worse than David. And that's what made these other nations come in and be able to take over. And now we got to pay them tribute. And now we're looking for protection. And now we're not trusting the Most High. We didn't got away from that anyway. And again, we're not following the law, statutes, and commandments. So the Most High say, you know what? It'll work out for you. I will let all of these beasts of the field prey on you now, because you didn't want to follow my law, statutes, and commandments. So now you're paying tribute to another nation instead of coming to your power and getting your protection where you should get it. All right. All right. With that, again, we're going to go into some more of these over the these couple weeks. I have another one I didn't get to, but that's all right. Again, this is just we can get the understanding that the Bible is not a religious book. It's our culture. It's our ancestors. It's our history. These things are our forefathers and foremothers. The things that are in this book were written so we would learn. As the scripture said, we're written in the foretime, written for our learning. All right. So we can get better and do better. All right. Make sure that Salaki, I'll get to the security announcements in a minute. If there are no questions, we're gonna get to the security announcements. And we will keep, like I said, we will keep going with this information as we continue through this history. All right. Most High in Christ, the what? I appreciate y'all. Always participating. And it definitely makes the classes. All right. All right. So these are the security announcements. We are the Israelite, like we, the ISUPK started out of 1 West 125th Street under Command of General Yohana out of Harlem, New York. Rules for new brother or sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. And for 6 months, If a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which that brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment. You can find it in Malachi 18 and 21. In Slovakia, you can find it in Numbers 18 and 21. You can also find it in Malachi chapter 3, verses 8 through 10. It means 10th, and in the Hebrew it's pronounced ma'ashara. It's 10% of every penny of any increase the Most High gives you. You can pay it to the Treasury Department. You can also go directly to ISUPK.com and pay it there. All right, priest fund. That's a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory whatsoever amount you would like to give. Upcoming Holy Convocation days, as we said, we're almost there. Passover is coming up in just under 2 weeks, April 20th. Just over a week. All the events will start. All right. Everybody who does not know, I know we've been saying it for months, and we're gonna say it again for the next couple of weeks. Most right. All right. The Wednesday, the 17th, is the slaughter of the lamb. The 18th is the Black Party. The 19th is General Hyman's class. The 20th is Passover itself, and the 21st is the Feast of Unleavened Bread. There'll also be there's a children's party, I believe. There's be a petting zoo, ton of stuff going on all week. At $200, anybody who's 18 up, $200 is your registration fee. It covers all events. All right, we are down to the wire. So if you have not paid your registration fee yet, if you have not gotten your hotel straight yet, if you have not gotten your transportation straight yet, you're way behind the 8 ball, but still work to get it done. All right. If you have not done it yet, still do so. All right. This is the Lord's Passover. We celebrate, as like the commercial said, where he celebrates what he did for us, giving us his protection and bringing us out of the captivity that we were in Egypt. And it's so important for us to understand that's what the Passover is for, because there's another captivity we're going to get brought out of as soon as we have a Mashiach return. All right. Make sure those things are taken care of. If you are a brother who wants to be a trooper in the school, you need to make sure you get in all black. Black boots, pants, shirt, headband, and war scarf. Make sure you get in contact with the school, 757-550-1204, and let the men above know that that's what you want to do. All right, they will get you straight. Any sister who wants to be a sister in the school, not just necessarily a student, make sure you get in contact with the school as well, 757-550-1204. All right, and again, we want to congratulate Ifwaf Devara and Ifwaf Noah for getting their names. They did excellent work. Those some excellent sisters. All right, and with that, if there are no questions or comments, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the brothers. Shalom, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shabbarakatam, and to the sisters. Shalom, Yahweh Shamar Alathan, Bahashem Yahweh Shah, and Salakia. Salakia, I did not mention the young man, the young brother Kanat, which is Akwab Anah's son. He got his name as well. Yeah, so y'all give that young brother a hand as well. Good, excellent young man. Good little soldier. All right. And with that, we are gonna play this Passover promo real quick. And that's gonna be it. Shalom again.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.
Israel, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding General Yohana, presents the Lord's 55th Annual Passover. That's right, the Lord's 55th Annual Passover is rapidly approaching. Commanding General Yohana is calling for all blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to remember what the Lord did for us by saving us from our oppressors and choosing us to be a special people unto Him, the real Jews and Israelites. Passover will be held in Durham, North Carolina. Pay your Passover fee. Anyone 17 years of age or older must pay $200. Come and enjoy fresh lamb, unleavened bread, and the Spirit of Christ. Can't wait to see you all there, Israel. Shalom.
Cabins on streets and corners, all is feeling righteous. Real particular, nobody else there to compare to. Train for war, men of war, and warlike apparel. Prefer our leaders, can't get between us.